Hey, welcome back. So in our previous video, we started making some optimizations to our React application. In this video, we're going to be integrating something called state to track whether our menu is open or closed. So let's go ahead and get started doing that. I am going to minimize my window here, and I'm going to shut down my terminal. For now, I'm just going to pop back over to Safari, and I'm going to open a new tab. I'm going to come over to Google, and we want to Google something called use state in React. React. Come to this first one here at React.js, React.js.org using the state hook -react. And here we get some information regarding React state. Now, the best way to think about a piece of React state is a piece of information pertinent to one of our components that is subject to change. Here we have an example of a functional component that uses state. This is a counter. They call use state, initializing it to 0, and right here they're destructuring two things. The first one is the state variable itself that can be used inside of your component, and the second is a function that is used to update this piece of state. Every time this button below gets clicked, count is incremented by 1, and then the count is displayed inside of this JSX expression right here. So let's get started at implementing that. I am going to go ahead and quit Safari. From my desktop, I'm going to open my circular menu folder. I'm going to come into part 3. I'm going to move the node modules folder to the trash if it's in there. I'm going to duplicate this, and we're just going to call this part 4. Part 4. Now, I'm going to go ahead and open that inside of Visual Studio Code. Next up, we want to direct our attention into our components folder, into our circular menu component. Up above, I'm going to make a new import. I'm going to say import destructuring use state from React. Perfect. And right here we can set up a section for our state variables. I'm just going to say state variables in a comment. Below, a separator line just to keep things nice and tidy. Right here, I'm going to say const using array destructuring syntax is open and set is open. We want to camel case that all the way through. Setting that to a call to use state and initializing it to false because our menu is initially not going to be open. Next up, below we want to create another new function to handle setting this state. I'm going to say handle set is open. Great. Putting another new separator line right here, and we can just say const handle set is open. Setting that to an ES6 arrow function. Great. And in here, we can go ahead and use our function to set state. I'm going to make a call to set is open, and in here, I'm just going to get access to the previous Boolean and flip it to not previous Boolean. This should flip false to true and true to false. Right here, I notice I made a little mistake. This comment says state variable, but I'm going to call it state variables. Not that that matters, I just like to be tidy. And I'm going to change this comment down here to say handle set is open, calling it the variable name. I think that just makes sense. Right here on our menu button div, we are going to say on click, and we are going to pass in our handle set is open function. Perfect. Next up, we want to come down to our circular menu instance right here, and we're going to pass down a new prop. I'm going to say menu is open, and we're just going to pass in our is open variable. Great. With that out of the way, I'm going to direct my attention over to my circular menu item component. And in here, we can just go ahead and destructure that new prop we passed in. We called it menu is open. I'm just going to copy and paste that. Menu is open. And down here in our transform, we want to translate conditionally. I'm going to make a new injection in here inside of my template string. We want to ask if menu is open, we want to translate 175%. Format this here, 175%, otherwise just 0. With that, I'm going to say File, Save All, and from here we should be seeing something new inside of our browser. I'm going to minimize my Visual Studio Code window. I am going to crack open my terminal. I'm going to type in CD followed by a space, dragging in the Part 4 folder, hitting Enter, and from here we want to say npm install. Now this might take a bit to install, so I'm going to cut the video right here. I'll see you when it's done. Alright, our Node modules folder is now done installing. From here, I'm going to run npm start so that our local host starts up and we can see our project inside of our browser. Might just take a sec here. And you can see there is a bit of a problem. The problem is that our black menu icon is hiding behind all of our menu items, so when we click, nothing happens. But not to worry, that is an easy fix. I'm going to come back over to Visual Studio Code into our styles folder, and I'm going to open up partials. From here, I'm just going to edit my circular menu.css file, and on the menu button class, we just want to say z index of 100. That's going to move that to the front. If we come back over to our browser, you can now see that if we click this center icon, all of our options appear and disappear. Now, the last thing to do for now is to actually animate these in and out when we click on them. So I'm going to go back over to Visual Studio Code, and on our menu item class, I'm just going to say transition transform 500 milliseconds ease. With that, if I go ahead and file save everything and come back to the browser, you can see if we click, these animate in and out instead of just popping out instantly. Alright, I think that's a good place to stop for this video. I will see you in the next one. Stay tuned.